Hello everyone. This is a webinar on version 8 of ERPNext. In this version, we have added many new features, and since this version is still under development, you might find some discrepancies which we are resolving and working on as we speak. So let's get started with the first feature we have built in version 8.
So let me start by talking about what is a Kanban board. So Kanban board is a Japanese project management tool which provides the visual overview of your tasks somewhat like in a pipeline. Let me show you how you can create one. So if you go to tasks, you see the list of tasks and you will see a drop down menu, uh, and you can create new Kanban board from here, and you uh, also all your Kanban boards will be listed here. So and this is my existing Kanban board. You can see how it displays cards in columns. So these columns are like pipeline. So you add your tasks here, and you can add your tasks from here. And as you are working on those tasks, you can update the status just by dragging and dropping them into appropriate columns. So let's say we are working on design website, so I dragged it into working column. So and also you can open it and assign it to somebody, assign responsible people for their tasks, and they will show in the card. So this provides a overview of who is assigned what, and you can manage your tasks easily. Also, you can create new columns here. Uh, if you want to define some custom workflow or status for the tasks, say for example, you add milestones where the tasks here will be the milestones, and you can change the color of the column to indicate, and you can also move around columns. So let's say we move it here. So this way you can customize your Kanban boards by creating new columns and dragging them around. You can also create different Kanban boards with different filters. So this Kanban board has the project February milestone set. So this will show only the task of February milestone. If you want to create a new Kanban board, just input your name, input the Kanban board name here, and you can choose on which field the columns show. So for example, our last Kanban board were based on the status field. Now if you want, you can create on custom field your Kanban column, and so your new blank Kanban board is created. So let's say we create new columns. Yeah, and you assign custom filters, let's say created on between, since this is the March, we put March 1 and 31. So now this becomes the March Kanban board. So that was just an example of how you can customize different Kanban boards based on different filters. So this Kanban board has no filters, and the original one has this filter assigned to it.
Okay. Okay. Hey there, everyone. I'm Prateeksha. So, the awesome bar has always been great for quickly navigating across ERPNext, but like we thought that it would be even better if we could like search for textual data like emails and phone numbers and descriptions and stuff. So that's where global search comes in. So like, here's what we did. So in case you type anything in the awesome bar, you'll get another option, additional option of search for the particular keyword. So what that does is shows up all the results, like wherever the keyword is present in the searchable fields. Now, for this to function, uh, in the doc type, you have to set the field as searchable. That is, like suppose in the item doc type, if we set the item code in global search field to check and save it, then we will see that that particular field now shows up in the global search. Like we just now set item code to searchable. So now all the item code fields are shown. So in a similar way, you can like search for things in the search bar, and here are all the categories. So here are the results, and you may have noticed that we have help here as well. So talking about which, if you search for things in help, they are also now instantaneously searchable from the search field. Now, the global search results are also shown in the awesome bar, but they show after the navigation results, because what we have like experienced that the global was excellent for navigating and it's pretty good at it. So the results will only be highlighted like if there are no uh, uh, navigation results, in a sense like they will be shown at the very last. So that's all in search for now. So do try it out. This feature is very much beta, and we would love your feedback to make it better. So thank you, everyone.
Hello everybody, my name is Makarand, and I have designed a feedback feature. So to enable feedback feature in the Pathway, so first we will have to configure the feedback trigger. So let's see how to configure a feedback trigger. So we go to setup, and here you can see there is one menu feedback triggers. So we'll quickly add one new feedback trigger. So here the system will ask you on which document you want to enable the trigger. So we will select a doc type, and we will select the email ID. We can add the subject like the. Then here we can add our conditions for feedback triggers like doc.status. So, and you can also write your customized message.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. So while Makarand is doing this basic setup, let me give you an overview how you can what the purpose of this feature, customer feedback. So let's assume that you send us an email on support@erpnext.com, and we reply to it, and ultimately we set that issue as closed, right? And after that, we want to know or we want to get a rating from you. Are you satisfied, not satisfied, on how you would like to rate our complete response to your issue on the scale of 1 to 5, right? So configuring feedback trigger allows you to trigger an email whenever an issue is closed. So Makarand, if you can take us again to feedback trigger. So as per this feedback trigger, we are saying that if an issue is closed, send an email for the email ID contained in this email ID, and the subject of that email would be this, say, issue number resolved, and this would be the subject. So you'll receive this email, and there'll be option to give a rating to our support service, right? So this way you can also set an feedback trigger for opportunities, for issues, and on any doc type on which you want to get a feedback from your customer. So I'll hand over again to Makarand. Makarand, please take it from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Umer. So let's just quickly go through this feedback trigger once again. So here you can enable or disable the feedback trigger. If you want your trigger to be enabled, you just click on enabled. The email field is, as Umer said, whenever you receive an issue, you need to send your feedback to your customer. So this field will determine to whom we have to send the email. And then here, as you can see, you can also set the subject, where you can also use the Jinja format. Here you can use the data from the your issue document itself. And again, here is some simple conditions that we can apply. Like Umer said, if you want to send a feedback trigger to your customer after the issue is closed, then just mention your condition as doc.status is equal to close. And again, you can customize your message here. You can write whatever message you want to write here, so that it will be the mail will be sent to customer regarding this with this message. So this is a simple feedback trigger configuration. So let's now create one issue. So we have created this issue. So let's say we have created this issue, and whenever you let's say we have to reply to customer first. So let's say whenever you will close this issue, the feedback will be triggered, and the mail will be sent to your customer.
So Makarand, if you have a test mail in your inbox, you can just show that, so we'll get an idea
Okay, yeah,
what
sure.
an email would be like.
Yeah, okay. So here how the email will looks. Once your email means your issue is closed, so similar type of email you will get. Here we have a configured or message, and you will get one link here over here. So what you can do is you just click on that particular link, and you will be redirected to feedback form. So your customer then can rate your rating from here. So he can write his message. So basically from here you can submit your feedback, and whenever you submit your feedback, so you will get your feedback rating over here left hand side on form sidebar, and you will also get your rating over in your timeline.
Okay, thanks, Makarand, for demonstrating this feature. So I would just like to mention that this feature is at a beta stage. and still under testing. So we are still using this internally. And if you are reporting an issue to us, and if you are getting a feedback request on your issues, then please provide your kind feedback, and it will help us improve. And you can again expect more enhancement and robustness before we release this feature.
Hello. So employee loan management has been asked for a couple of times. So we finally thought of doing it for the version 8. So basically, some of the companies are kind enough to give their employees employee loan at maybe the lesser interest rate from the banks and everything. So this module is for that, employee loan management. So it's very simple to set up. So you have a loan type. So right now I have created a home loan. Let's create a new, let's say we create a new loan type, which is car loan, and maximum loan amount that, okay, you can just, maximum loan amount, like say you cannot have more than 50,000, whatever your currency is. And rate of interest, let's say for the 6.2 is the yearly rate of interest, or description you want to give anything, or can you save it? And then you go back, and your employees can raise a request for the loan by going into employee loan application. Let's create a new one. So let's say employee Gabriel wants a car loan for, okay, let's do home loan. It's more amount and can show you a little bit more. Okay, so he wants, let's say, as much loan, and it is required by, just give any date, maybe by 31st March. And here you have flexibility, like the employee would have a flexibility to select what kind of repayment method he wants. So either it can be repay fixed amount per period. In that case, like the employee would have to enter that how much amount he wants to be repaid, like every month. Or you can have repay over number of periods. So in this case, you'll have to mention the number of months over which, like maybe you want to repay in like 20 months. So it will calculate itself, the monthly EMIs will be calculated based on this. So let's just save this. So before he can actually submit it, he can see that total, what will be the total payable interest and what will be the repayment amount. This is the monthly repayment amount which he had to pay, and this is the total payment amount. So you just submit the application and say yes. So same as we have leave approvers, we'll have loan approvers as well. So the loan approver can log in and approve the application and update. And once your loan application is accepted, you can go to the HR manager, or like some account manager can go into employee loan and create a new record for that loan. So we were creating it for Gabriel. Let's say posted it today. So here we should see the leave application. So here is his leave, loan application, and he applied for home loan, and this was the loan amount and repayment period, whatever it was, and status. Okay, let's say we have paid the loan, and the disbursement date is the date on which the loan was paid. So let's say we paid him on 1st of March, and the mode of payment was bank draft or something. Okay, and employee loan account is the account from which you paid. So let's say employee leave, and the payment account also can select which account, from which account actually you paid. National Bank. So interest income amount is the interest amount you gain on these loans. So they go into the interest income account. You can create new account or whatever. And so these are the only information you need to fill in here. And this is the rebate from salary. So some employees would want that their loan repayment should be automatically deducted from their salary. So this option is for that. And as soon as you click save, and magic, so not really. So the repayment schedule is created on the fly. Just as you saving, it will tell you that it will give you the whole repayment schedule. So the user said that he wants the loan for 20 months. So it will show you every month, like the principal amount, the interest amount, and the total payment and the balance loan amount for each repayment cycle until you're left with zero. So we have gone through a couple of formulas, how EMIs are calculated and all that. So we selected the most generic one, and that is how we are creating the repayment schedule here. So that is it. You submit it, and okay. So this is done, and so the ledger is also created. Oops. So should be able to see these employee loan one here. So you should be able to see the employee loans here. And let me show you the salary slip as well. So let's just create a new salary slip for that employee, Gabriel. Yeah. Okay. So he took the loan in month of March. Let's do it for the month of March. Okay. Then date would be just it should be 31st. Okay. So here it comes the total repayment, loan repayment here, and it will be, I mean, it will be calculated in net pay and all that. So I'm not creating the whole salary slip right now, but I just wanted to show you that it will appear like this in your salary slip.
All right, so this brings us to our last part of this webinar, which is custom permissions. So I'll just give you a brief introduction of how permissions are managed in ERPNext. We have multiple doc types, and for each doc type, we have defined some standard set of permissions. So let's check sales order for now. If we check sales order, we see that sales order doc type has these standard permissions. Sales user can do all these actions, sales manager can do all this action, maintenance user can do all these actions, right? So what used to happen earlier, the hosted user has the access to a tool called role permissions, and in the role permission manager I can select a doc type here which is sales order, and I can change the standard permissions, right? If I want that sales user should not be able to submit, I can simply uncheck. If I want that account user should be able to write and create, I can simply add these permissions, right? So this was pretty much flexible, but how these custom permissions were managed earlier is different than how it will be managed in version 8. So earlier what used to happen, whatever changes you made in the role permission manager would have an impact in the doc type master of in that relevant doc type master itself, right? Uh, the bottleneck was that didn't allow us to sync the new doc type permissions. Means every time we made an update from the backend, we didn't touch the permission rules, because the custom permissions were also saved in the permission rules only. So we updated other values in the doc type, but we didn't touch or sync the permission rule, right? But to come over that, we have added a new feature called custom DocPerms. So as per this feature, if you add any new or you customize any permission rules in your ERPNext account, it will be saved separately as a DocPerm, right? So what it does is if you have customized a document permissions, then those permissions will be applied based on the DocPerm. It will be firstly saved as a DocPerm, and then it will be applied from the DocPerm only, right? And then if you have not created any, if you have not done any customization on this front, then whatever standard permissions we have defined in the doc type, that will be applied. So Sagar has asked a question here. Chart of account can be show user wise for a particular company. So chart of account is a view, but if you want to apply any restriction or a permission, user permission on chart of account, you should apply it on an accounts doc type. Right? So if you set a user permission on a company, and on the account doc type, if you apply permission based on company, then I think that shall work. So Akhil has asked here, can you show a demo of salary appraisal? Uh, so appraisal is actually a separate feature wherein you can define KRAs on based on KRAs you can give rating to that employee, and that doesn't have direct impact on the salary of an employee. In fact, every year you have to make a new salary structure based on the revised salary for that employee. But in appraisal record itself doesn't have any impact on the salary structure of an employee. So Bhagyashri has asked, is it possible to create salary slip without loan info? Yes, it's very much possible. In fact, loan management is an additional feature. If you don't use it, then it won't show up in the salary slip at all. This version is still under development, and we are adding and making this version robust internally by using it internally and testing it rigorously. So if you have ERPNext installed on your local system, then you can test it locally as well, and raise issues on GitHub. And if you want to test it, you can check these sites, beta.erpnext.com, and then we have demo.erpnext.com. So these sites are running on version 8 already. Okay, thanks everyone for attending. If you have any queries, then feel free to ask us on discuss forum, or you can also write to us directly. Thanks all the presenters as well. Have a great day. Thanks very much. Bye.